It really seems like the morale is so down for people who work retail, people who work entry level jobs. I remember a few days ago, actually, I was out at a local grocery store, and one of the employees had greeted me saying, "Good morning," looking me in the eye, and with a genuine smile on their face. And it was such a good feeling. And I thought to myself, wait a second, why does this feel like something that I haven't come across for a long time? Why did it stick out like a sore thumb? And it seems like now the morale is so down with entry level workers, with people who work retail, that you rarely come across people who are willing to go out of their way to give above and beyond customer service. People who are not wanting to make other people's days because they're so down, because they're so unhappy with themselves and their life. What it comes down to is this, guys. Anyone who works a full-time job, whether it's an entry-level job or not, should be able to live comfortably. That to me just sounds like common sense. You work 40 hours a week, you work a full-time job, you should be able to live comfortably. Now, I myself was born in 1997, so I'm in a very kind of strange generation where I am Gen Z, but I'm the oldest you can be and still be considered Gen Z. But I relate a lot with the millennials on this, because I hear people talk about this who grew up in the 90s, where people could work entry-level jobs and live comfortably. They could afford their own rent. They could afford a car. They could afford gas. And they could realistically, down the line, look at the ability of being able to buy a home. Nowadays, those things are so out of reach for a lot of people, for pretty much most people, especially those who work entry-level jobs in retail, many of whom are racked up in credit card debt, living paycheck to paycheck, really have no money left over. I mean, you got people roommating because they can't afford rent by themselves. So how can we expect them to be happy and have a genuine smile on their face when they're at work or doing their daily jobs? They're going to be there for the paycheck, of course, for the hourly, but they're just going to be running the clock. They're not going to want to go out of the way to make people's day. I mean, I even think back too, so many times now, I'll be out at like a department store, whether it's a Fred Meyer, if you guys have one of those near you, or a Target or a Walmart, and you could be looking for something, even confused, looking down the aisles, looking all lost, like you're trying to find something. So many employees will walk past you and not even stop to say, "Hey, can I help you find something? Hey, are you looking for something? Hey, you look lost. Are you looking for something?" I don't even think, I can't even remember the last time I came across that. It's such a rarity now. We're at a point where this is my thing, right? I'll get on here and I'll be the first person to say this. In many ways, I was lucky to where I was born into a family who had bought their home in the 90s. My parents bought their house for around $180,000, I believe in 98 or 99, when I was around a year or two old. That house, having been bought for $180,000, is now worth like $1.4 million. I don't live there anymore. They don't live there anymore either. But it went up tenfold. And keep this in mind, guys. This is not a big home. This was like a 1,500 square foot home in an area that was very kind of condensed. The houses were very close to each other, not a whole lot of privacy. If you guys are familiar with the Magnolia, Seattle neighborhood, that is just insane. I mean, I look at the houses in the area just out of curiosity. I'll go on Redfin or Zillow or one of these apps, and you even have, at the very low end, 600,000 to 700,000 for houses that are very old builds that need a lot of work. Basically, you need to have the whole house remodeled. Need the walls painted, need the floors done, need old appliances taken out and replaced, need the roof done, need a whole lot of landscaping. You're talking at least $100,000 to $200,000 worth of work in these homes. So if someone's working at a Safeway or any grocery store or a Target, and they're like, what the heck is going on? What is even the point? You have a lot of people right now who, quite frankly, just don't even want to work. Which I've always been in the mindset of, if you're not going to school, you should be working. You should be at least investing in something and being productive that is going to help you or plan for your future. But people see things as so out of reach. I mean, the Gen Z and Millennial Americans, we had to put up with a lot as far as it comes to inflation and increased spendings. In our lifetime, we witnessed the 2003 war in the Middle East. We had the 2008 market crash, the 2010 market crash, and then the 2020 lockdowns. all that were followed by exponentially increasing inflation, rapid increases in the price of everything. So more and more I'm understanding why people just don't seem to have that kind of passion in what they do. There's so many times where anyone nowadays has come across, but I'll call a customer service line. They'll try to connect you to 5 different people, and they don't even know what they're doing. They don't know anything about to answer your question, and a lot of the time you're not even going to get a real person over the phone. So it just seems like the morale is so down. And with people in the 90s being able to live comfortably, the wages, yes, they were a lot cheaper. I've heard people mention about the wages being, I think, minimum wage was I think even less than $10 an hour. But the issue is the price of living has far outgrown the increase in wages. It is absolutely insane. Even in a city like Seattle, I think minimum wage here is around $20 an hour. But you look at the price of anything. Rent. We have the most expensive gas in the country in the state of Washington. You look at these things and you're like, wow, the first of all, the middle class, I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. And these workers are just getting absolutely shafted. It's just a shame. It's heartbreaking, really. It's heartbreaking. When people aren't happy, they're not going to want to give in extra attention to what they do. And look, I'm someone because I understand there's another side of this where you always have to remain optimistic. You have to have a good attitude. I completely understand that. Which, this often comes from a lot of people who are, I believe, the boomer generation, who are older, the generation that came before millennials and so on. Will mention that. But the issue is now people feel like they are working towards something in a rigged system. They are persevering for what? For what? To not be able to afford a home? And all while they're trying to save their money, the dollar is becoming more and more and more worthless throughout seemingly every day now, weekly, whatever it might be. The dollar's getting weaker. So they're saving money, or at least trying to, if they even can save money. The dollar's getting weaker, and they're already seeing things be out of reach. That's not how it should be. I mean, come on. Come on. It's really just heartbreaking. Anytime you see a local, whether it's your Uber Eats worker, grocery store worker, department store worker, I just try to be as respectful as possible. It's because I just know they're going through a lot right now, quite frankly. And there are some times where I would take it as disrespect if maybe someone was dismissive or this and that. And yes, people have bad days, but I'm to the point now where it's like, you know what? It is what it is. These retail employees are getting so screwed right now that I just have to empathize with them, quite frankly, because this is totally not sustainable. You shouldn't have to be an exec at Boeing or a Microsoft employee or a dentist to be able to live comfortably. That shouldn't be the case at all. Totally backwards, guys. But anyways, thank you so much for viewing, and feel free to stay tuned for the next video.